Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order and start our meeting off by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So please join me. Stand of our heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and may I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Villaseñor.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Gurrola.
Here.
Mayor Brogy.
Here.
Councilmember Austin.
Here.
Councilmember Mendez.
Here.
Thank you. And then council may have an approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. So that takes us right into our consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar. I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent is approved. Okay, that takes us to public comments. And I do have one. They're coming in. Two. I have two speaker requests for public comment. Three. Oh, three. While we're waiting for that third one to come down, I just want to thank everyone for being here this evening. This is a big evening for City Council, for the city of Fillmore. We've got changes going on tonight, and I'm just glad that you were all able to make it here and participate in this. It's just a fun evening. Some difficulties for, those that are leaving us, but some new people coming on board, and that's great. So anyway, so back to public comments. I have three. And the first I'll call up is Pedro Chavez. And you do have 3 minutes to speak. At the end of 2 minutes, the yellow light will come on, and that'll give you your 1 minute warning.
Great, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Brogy, Vice Mayor Gurrola, and members of the City Council. My name is Pedro Chavez. I'm the co-executive director of One Step Alaves, your neighbor down the street. We are a teen center that serves nearly 300 youth each year. I'm actually here as we close out the year to let you know about the impact of One Step Alaves when it comes to fighting hunger and helping the working families in the communities of Fillmore and Piru. I did, for the record, provide our clerk with the digest of information and metrics regarding the impact that we provide through our partnership with Food Share, the USDA, and grocery outlets. I wanted to let you know that twice a month, the second and the fourth Wednesday of the month, our teens mobilize themselves, do a food pantry, and have impacted nearly 450 families this year alone. Now, this partnership couldn't have happened by itself. We don't work in silos here. But I wanted to acknowledge, first and foremost, the teens for their leadership, which I have several of the teens here that help out in packaging, sorting, and distributing the food items that we get from the local food bank here in Oxnard. But also thank the partnership we have with the Fillmore Police Department, in particular Captain Lalo Malagon and his team, who have been very gracious enough to stop by, lend a hand, and be connected to community. And so that's what One Step's about. We provide value to the community. We support the teens that come through our doors that are ages 13 to 19. And again, this is one of the many innovative programs that we have here in Fillmore that serve the local families. And so with that said, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations to those coming into office. Congratulations to those who have served. I can tell you personally, it's quite a feat to be able to put your time and your neck out there to serve the public. So thank you again for your service.
Thank you. Our next public speaker is Bill Faith, and as Mr. Faith is coming up to the microphone, I'll just remind everyone here that this public comment is a time in which you can speak to the council on any issue that's not on the agenda. So if you feel led to say something, please feel free to obtain one of these forms and give it to our city clerk. Mr. Faith, go ahead.
Thank you, members of the City Council. Thank you for those that are leaving, especially if that's not to Mark for being, he's been in the district that I'm a part of. I've been here a number of times about a light on 126, a left green light, and it still hasn't gone up. I've seen accidents close to happening because people are jumping out over there. The last time I did it, about 5 years ago, we heard from Caltrans, there's not enough traffic on 126. Well, maybe they should have another count. As far as the second thing, I saw the CHP come through town about 2 months ago, a highway patrolman on a motorcycle, and I thought, oh my God, he was going in and out trying to catch somebody, and he caught that person, pulled him over, and I thought, I know we do Citizen of the Year and we do a Policeman of the Year, or maybe it's a Law Enforcement of the Year, but I think that something that should be done is once a year we should have a recognition for our people that run this 126 for our highway patrol. They see the deaths every week out there, every week, and they've been doing it for 60 years. Back in the early in 1980s, there used to be a sticker that said, "Pray for me. I drive 126," before it became a 4-lane. Those highway patrol officers and also the tow truck drivers, they see those things every week. I have a friend who does the tow truck driving, and I asked him about that, and he told me about 3 deaths that he had to go through just 3 or 4 nights earlier. And so I would like that Fillmore and Santa Paula get together and see if we can get a medal that we can give for people that work 126 for our law enforcement, and it's a medal that they can pass on, that right from the state on down. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Sarah Garcia.
Hi, me again. I'm here for the same thing for Two Rivers. I was so excited the last meeting that everything was passed for the lights, for the irrigation, and the leveling of the fields, but I was very heartbroken to hear that it did not include the baseball fields and softball fields. I don't feel that soccer or football should have a one-up over either sport. I feel like the whole reason why we have to keep fighting is because something was done half-fast in the first place. I don't feel like we should continue doing things half-assed. I feel like it's a full park. The full park should get the renovation. We should also, so I'm up here today to ask if you guys would discuss also including the baseball fields and softball fields, because again, that's something that the city needs. I mean, they would be able to then do a fall ball. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Fillmore is one of the only towns that doesn't do fall ball. And that's a big reason why we lose kids to other cities in sports, because guess what? If your kid loves softball or baseball, they have to go outside of city to continue during the winter and fall. And they see, oh, it's not that bad of a commute. So they go their regular season as well. So if we do that, we would allow our town to have a fall ball under the lights, produce more income, and that's an income for the city as well. So that's what I was here to discuss, is if you guys would consider also including the baseball, softball fields. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I have no other speaker requests for public comment session. I have a couple other speaker requests coming up on a couple of the other agenda items. So right now we will move on to our presentations. And the first 7A, recognizing the winners of the 2024 Central Avenue Christmas tree decorations. And I'm going to come down to the microphone there because I'm going to do a couple of presentations for our winners. I hope that those of you in the community had an opportunity to walk up and down Central and see all the Christmas trees that several of our community groups, schools, just a wider range of people in our community, kids included, were able to decorate trees. And then we were able to judge the trees, and we came up with 2 of our favorites. We had a first place, and we had an honorable mention. So we're going to start with the honorable mention. So if I could have Jessica Castro come to the microphone. I'll meet you there. Okay, this. It's on. We're good, I think. This award is for the honorable mention, and Heritage Valley Blazers were the recipients of this award for their tree decoration. And do we not have Jessica Castro here? Do we have anybody here at all from Heritage Valley Blazers? Okay, we will hold on to that one. Then our next one, our first place award goes to Fillmore AYSO Epic. And receiving this award on behalf of AYSO Epic is Nancy Rodriguez. Congratulations. So our certificate simply says for outstanding creativity, originality, and festive spirit in the 2024 Fillmore Central Avenue Christmas Tree Decorating Contest. Your design brought joy and inspiration to the community and embodied the true essence of the holiday season. So thank you very much and congratulations. So did the kids do the decorating? You all did. There you go. So do you want to, we have a photo op from our. Oh, hold on, there's more.
There is.
I'm going to call Brandy up. Brandy Hollis has a gift basket that she's going to present, and I don't think you can hold this, but this is also a contribution for your first.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, there you go. Turner, come and stand by Coach Matt. Smile.
Thank you. That was fun. I like that. And I want to thank all the groups, the community groups, and the kids who participated in this contest. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to show up. I think it was on December 1st for our tree lighting ceremony. The amount of people that were there was just amazing. And every time we have an event, I'm finding there are more and more attendees. And I see just the participation from the community and our businesses just growing and growing and growing. And I think that's a tremendous statement for the city of Fillmore. So thank you. Okay, so now we move on to item number 7B. This is recognition of outgoing city council members. So before we get started, I do have a public speaker request for this item, and I will call it Manuel Meneres.
Thank you, Mayor Broggie, members of the City Council. I'm here representing Ventura County Supervisor Kelly Long and also myself as a former City Council member and mayor here in this beautiful city of Fillmore. And, we wanted to make a humble gesture to the outgoing members of the City Council, Chris Garola, and also to Mark Austin for your years of service. As Mr. Chavez had mentioned, it's not easy to come up here and make your opinions known before the entire community on a recorded meeting for everybody to re-examine and you decided to take leadership seriously and represent your community, and I think there's a lot for you to be proud of. And maybe in the future, there's another opportunity to serve again. So I want to thank you on behalf of Supervisor Long and on behalf of myself, and thank you so much for your service. Mark, we go back to when I first started here as an employee, and I remember as a planning commissioner, learned so much from you, and always remember how supportive you were of staff at the time. And I wanted to thank you in front of the rest of the council and the entire community for that, and then also for everything you've given over the last 8 years to the city. So thank you as well, Chris, for 2 years. It's a shorter time period, but still, it's time away from your family. and it also showed a great love for the community. So thank you all very much for your service.
Thank you, Manny.
Thank you.
Couple certificates.
Gonna go down.
Picture time. What do you think, Martin? Thank you. Of course. Yeah, you got it. Martin, you want to take a picture real quick? What do you think? This is the angle. This is the angle we're going to get here. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Thank you, Martin.
Does this mean you're going to come play basketball?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and the city also has plaques and certificates for outgoing council members. Before I present those, I'd like to give our council members and our city staff an opportunity to make any remarks that you might want to make. And can we start with you, our interim city manager, Erica?
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to take the opportunity to thank Councilmember Austin and Councilmember Gurrola for their time of service with the city, your leadership, for all the time that you've provided for your constituents and for staff, for your guidance. Thank you very much. Mark, you're going to be leaving a legacy behind. You will be missed. Thank you for all the years of service that you have provided to the city on behalf of myself and the staff.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I want to say a few words. Mark, thank you for your dedication. I know that, many years on the Planning Commission and then 8 years with City Council, you really dedicated quite a bit of time and analysis, and I really admire how you looked for where we can improve, and you really stick to your guns on certain things, and that's really admirable, and it's hard to do. So I just want to tell you, thank you for that. Thank you for your dedication. And Chris, I want to say thank you also for your dedication for 2 years, but also when we meet in City Council, I felt you were always super deliberate and thoughtful with just the decision-making process that we have. And I really sincerely appreciate that. And I think that you're both helped to make other City Council members, including myself, a better council member. So thank you.
Yeah, Mark, you're going to be missed up here.
Probably for the Dodgers versus the Padres, huh?
I'll miss those conversations with you. But thank you for all your years of leadership on the Planning Commission and on the City Council. You guided me along that first year. You helped me, so thank you. And Chris, thank you for your leadership. Some of your questions were very, very thought-provoking and got me going and thinking, going down another rabbit hole. That was a good question. Why didn't I think of that? So thank you for your leadership, and I hope you're not done, and I hope you serve in another capacity. Thank you.
To Chris, I'm truly grateful, first of all, for all the years that I've been able to serve on council and working with Chris. He's, I think, in my experience, in the 2 terms I've served, even including planning, he's the first person, I think, that came along that needed virtually no training. He just jumped in, and he was able to figure out things right away and got acclimated to how the process worked and how to study for agenda items, and did a phenomenal job, Chris. And I think it took me probably at least 1 to 2 years to figure out what it took you to learn in the first couple of months. So you will be truly missed, and I'll be calling you. And I hope that one day we find you back up on the dais again. So thank you. And then Councilmember Mark, I've had the privilege of serving with you on my previous term. Your level-headedness and grasp of issues, especially, I don't know if any of you noticed at meetings, the assistance he's lent to me on how to operate the timer for the podium.
She's awful at it. Every single meeting I had to do the timer.
I'm going to
for
be
her.
at a loss without him helping here with this little mechanical doohickey. And while we always didn't agree, and we argued on and off the dais, you made serving on council easier for me and way more entertaining, that's for sure. This isn't farewell for me because I'm going to keep you on speed dial. And I look forward to more lunches at Amici's Pizza with you and Anita. And I'll be seeing you, I'm sure, next week. Thank you.
Okay. You want Nora turn? I would like to thank the citizens of Fillmore for allowing me to be up here for 8 years. It's meant a lot to me. There's been some rough times, and there's been some great times. Most of the times have been good. I also want to thank the people who have allowed me to be successful up here, and that's city staff, our city attorney, Tiffany, our fire chief, Keith, our police chief, Lalo, Kevin and Brian, our planning staff, our finance director, Deborah, our public works director, Joe, our city engineer, Roxanne. I don't even see her in here, but she's probably here. Okay. Our city clerk, Olivia, who I've given a hug every single meeting since we started. Isn't that true? Yes. Our assistant city clerk, Areli, and our acting city manager, Erica. I also would like to thank our council members, Albert, Carrie, Chris, and Christina, for a good time. Well, I don't mean that way, but we had a good time up here. We argued, we debated, but we're always all going to be Fillmore. Good luck to the new council members. And always remember, when making your decisions, that you serve the residents of the city of Fillmore. So always listen to their comments, pay attention to them, because they're basically your boss. And thank you very much.
Chris, remarks?
Sure. I'd really like to thank the city staff, council members, just as Mark did, especially the people at Fillmore who gave me the opportunity. It's by God's grace that I was granted the opportunity to serve you. It's by God's permissive will and divine providence that I'm unable to serve you now. But I think it's God places us in the right place at the right opportunity. And I also want to thank my family standing in the back, kind of hiding. My wife Cassandra, my son Joaquin. I think my oldest daughter Luciana might have made it. Annalise, Viviana, thank you, and our son yet to be named. But thank you, everyone. It's been a great opportunity and a blessing to our family, and I look forward to what the future holds. Thank you.
Gosh, I hate this. Okay. Let's go ahead, and I think probably from the podium down below. Join me. We should have rehearsed this. Gotten smoother. Okay. These are both a little different, so bear with me. I'm going to read them both. This is in recognition of valuable service by Christopher Garola to the City of Fillmore, City Council 2022 to 24, whereas Christopher Garola has served with honor and dignity on the City Council from November 22nd through December 24th, and whereas Christopher was first appointed in the office of City Council and sworn in on November 22nd, and whereas during his tenure he served on numerous committees such as the Economic Development Collaborative Commission of Ventura County and the Ventura County Animal Regulation Commission, and whereas Christopher has served for 2 years on the Fillmore City Council, and whereas Christopher has been an active and positive community leader, focusing on keeping the best interest of Fillmore by supporting the economic development of local businesses and whereas the residents of the city of Fillmore have benefited from Christopher's achievements as evidenced through his successful efforts working with projects such as the Downtown Rehabilitation Grant Program and Rio Vista Park. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Carrie Broggie, Mayor of the City of Fillmore, and on behalf of the Fillmore City Council, do hereby commend Christopher Garola and ask all those present to congratulate Christopher and thank him for his years of service in the City of Fillmore and to wish him well in his future endeavors. Yeah. And this is in recognition of valuable service by Mark Austin to the City of Fillmore, City Council 2016 through 2024. Whereas Mark Austin has served with honor and dignity on the City Council from December 2016 through December 2024, and whereas Mark was first elected to the office of City Council in December 2016, and again in December 2020, serving for 8 years, including 12 years as the Fillmore Planning Commissioner. Whereas during his tenure, Mark has served on numerous committees such as the Ventura County Economic Development Collaborative, Interview Selection Ad Hoc, Special School Board Ad Hoc, and Downtown Revitalization Ad Hoc, and Budget Ad Hoc Committee. And whereas Mark has represented the interests of the City of Fillmore by providing public safety resources to the community and help provide funding needed to maintain services ratios for police and fire departments. Whereas Mark has been an active and positive community leader, focusing on keeping the best interest of Fillmore by supporting the economic development of local businesses, and whereas the residents of the City of Fillmore have benefited from Mark's legacy of achievement as evidenced through his successful efforts working with projects such as Rotocraft, Many Mansions, and Rio Vista Park. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Carrie Broggie, Mayor of the City of Fillmore, and on behalf of the Fillmore City Council, do hereby commend Mark Austin and ask all those present to congratulate Mark and thank him for his many years of service to the City of Fillmore and to wish him well in all his future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you.
Picture of all three of you.
Sure. Put me in the middle.
Put you in the middle.
That's correct. One. Thank you.
No. Okay, so that concludes our recognition of our city council members. Are we good here? Do we,
Yeah.
anything else to do? So I do have, moving on to item number 7C, we're going to move on to the new elected officials' oath of office and presentation of certificate of election. Before we do, I do have a speaker request for this item. Stephen Auken. Is that right? Auckin?
Mayor, City Council, outgoing City Council, but especially the incoming council members that will be seated soon. I just want to acknowledge the hard work that the outgoing council has done, especially recovering from the COVID pandemic. Some forget that 4 years ago, this city and the community that we lived in looked very different during the pandemic, and helped oversee the transition out of that phase. The new incoming council, who will be sworn in just a couple of minutes, represents another chapter for the city of Fillmore. Cristina Villaseñor, returning to your seat, has inspired a generation of elected officials to now be elected in this election, all the way from Thousand Oaks, all across this county, at library boards, school boards. Many of them have mentioned Cristina's service on this council as their inspiration. I know Councilmember Garnica will be fantastic in his lifetime of service that he has done to our country, for our country, from West Point to his service as in the Army, excuse me, in the military, and then as a veteran on the school board, and now on the City Council. And Luis Rodriguez, who's now entering the dais soon and beginning their service to the city. I look forward to seeing that work as well. But I think it's important to recognize where we were 4 years ago. In this moment, sometimes it's too easy to forget. And also congratulate those that will be continuing their service. In particular, I do want to thank Mr. Garnica for his lifetime of service. I know we all are so proud of our veterans and those that served, and to continue to serve as an elected official is really something additionally special, as some of our council members know as well, who are veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Erica, are we?
No, swear him in and then we're leaving. So we gotta leave. We're gonna leave.
So Mayor, our city clerk is we have to move to the oath, so 7C, new elected officials oath, office of oath and presentation. So, and then we'll have.
And then we'll break.
Bear with me one moment here.
Can we be excused from recess?
Okay, filling in the gaps here. Thank you.
Good evening, council members, Fillmore residents, staff. My name is Areli, and I'm the deputy city clerk here. And I would like to ask the city clerk and our re-elected city clerk and re-elected city treasurer to step up. And I'm going to go ahead and administer the oath. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and state, and if you could go ahead and repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I. State your name, please. Do solemnly swear or affirm. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. That I will take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Congratulations, and thank you all for your patience.
Okay, we'll continue with staff.
Yes, and so now that Ms. Olivia is now sworn in as our official re-elected city clerk, I would like to invite her to come to the podium and also administer the oaths for our new council members.
Great, thank you.
I need to acknowledge, good evening, Mayor, and to the City Council, city staff, and the residents of Fillmore. Okay. I'm honored to be able to administer this. Okay, so if you would please raise your right hand. I. Please state your name one at a time.
Luis Alberto Rodriguez, John Lopez Garnica.
Christina
Excuse me.
Nancy. Okay. Do solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will defend,
that I will defend,
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which
upon which
I am about to enter.
I am about to enter.
This completes the oath. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. By my count, that concludes the swearing in, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, then we will move on to item number 8, which is a reorganization meeting. And while we are reorganizing our seating up here, we will move on to a break. I don't have details on the break, just 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Let's take a break for about 10 minutes so we can do our reseating, and then we'll reconvene in 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we will call the meeting back to order and moving on to our regular agenda. And the first item is 9A. That is the adoption of the City Council Resolution 24-4033, declaring the results of the November 5th, 2024 election, declaring the election results.
Thank you so much, Mayor. First of all, I want to congratulate the new city council members, and I want to also thank the outgoing council members. So yes, I want to go ahead and present the adoption of the city council for the resolution of 24-4033. This is declaring the election results for the November 5th, 2024. So staff recommends that the city council adopt city council resolution 24-4033, declaring the results of this November 5th, 2024 election, general and municipal election. So on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, a general and municipal election was held for the purpose of electing the following officers: our city clerk, our city treasurer, and a city council member for District 1, 2, and 5. The election was conducted and results were canvassed by the County of Ventura Elections Division. The results of said election were certified by the county clerk on December 5th, 2024, and were forwarded to the city clerk and incorporated into the city council resolution, which was reviewed and adopted by the city attorney. This resolution memorializes and declares the results of the election for the city record purposes, and it's attached for the city council's consideration. So the following election results were as follows. Our city clerk, Ms. Olivia Carrera Lopez. Our city treasurer, Jacqueline Magdaleno. Our city council District 1, Luis Alberto Rodriguez. City council District 2, John Garnica. And city council District 5, Cristina Villaseñor. And yes, so I'm asking today to have council approve this resolution to declare the results of the November 5th, 2024 elections. Thank you so much.
Any questions for staff?
Second.
Okay, I will then entertain a motion.
I move.
Oh, you second. You're ahead of me. Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, this agenda item passes. It's approved. Okay, now we are moving on to the selection of 2024 mayor and mayor pro tempore.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And that is also mine. So this is election of the 2024 mayor and mayor pro tem. So it is recommended that the city council select the 2024 mayor and mayor pro tem. The city clerk's department asks that the city council to nominate a council member to serve as mayor via a motion. The motion must be seconded, and then the council members will vote on the nomination. If the vote fails, a new nomination is made, and the process is repeated until the motion is adopted. Following the receipt of the majority vote of the council members for a mayor for the new term, the current mayor will call for nominations for mayor pro tem via the same motion process for the selection of the mayor. Following the majority vote of the council members for the mayor pro tem, the council will reorganize accordingly. So now I'm asking for a motion.
I have a question first.
Yes.
So this is a question for the remaining council members. How was it determined previously who would be, I mean, was it just people would just choose whomever they thought would be the best mayor? Or was there, I know on the school board, typically it was a rotating position where the different, as time went on, people eventually rotated through the mayorship or the presidency of the school board.
Right, and I've seen it happen both ways. I've seen it happen where get into a rotating, next person who's been on the longest becomes mayor, is nominated to be mayor.
Okay.
I've seen it where we've had back-to-back, council member be back-to-back mayors. So it's not a hard, fast rule, but for the most part, I think for convenience sake and the ease of nominating mayors, it frequently is a rotating mayor position, but not required.
Okay, great, thank you. That was my question.
Yes, thank you.
I'll move that Cristina Villaseñor for mayor.
I appreciate that, but let's hold on here. And I thought you started to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to thank you, Mayor, for
Okay.
clarifying that. And
Okay.
yes, historically, it's been through nomination, via nomination from the council.
Okay, then we will just do a repeat. I will entertain a motion.
I'll move that Cristina Villaseñor become our new mayor.
Second that?
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, Christina will be our new mayor. Okay.
Congratulations, Mayor Villaseñor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, fellow council members, for your confidence. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
And now, if I ask you, Mayor, if you can go ahead and ask a motion to select Mayor Pro Tem, and then shortly after that, we can go ahead and just take a brief minute to do the council member plaques reorganization.
Okay, great. So I will look for a motion for our Mayor Pro Tem.
I would like to nominate Albert.
I would like to second that nomination.
Third.
Okay, sorry, as a new mayor, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Congratulations, Albert. Mayor Pro Tem.
Now we will see the seat shuffling.
So we'll take a short 2 minutes.
So bear with us just one moment, those of us in the audience.
You want to say that?
No. Oh, I'm not the mayor anymore.
That's right.
No, you can't stay there. No, you can't. Sometimes it's not the mayor, it's whoever's the oldest.
Oh, the oldest?
Yes.
No, you're not the oldest.
Oh, yes, I am. I guess
I guess you're kicking me out of my chair. Want me to grab your purse?
I don't know. Tell me if
I'll buy you some flowers, Albert. Okay, mayor has to go here. Mayor Pro Tem to the right or to the left?
Mayor Pro Tem, I think he's right here, Albert, right?
I love these secretaries. As long as they don't take the seat away this time. Sure.
Oh, that's mine. One more thing I forgot. Okay, thank you. I think we're all situated now in our seats. Okay, and thank you once again, fellow council members, for your confidence in myself and in Councilmember Mendez. All right, Aurelia, I think we will move on to the next agenda item, which is item 9C, the preservation of local government appointment of standby officers.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor Villaseñor. Congratulations, and congratulations to Mayor Pro Tem Mendez. And so Tonight, staff requests that each member of the City Council appoints standby officers. The California Emergency Act acknowledges that in case of war, enemy attack, or state of emergency, the continuity of local government is essential to preserve law and order to restore or continue governmental services. The Act therefore authorizes each local agency to appoint up to 3 standby officers who would be available to perform the duties of each member of the governing body of political subdivision, mayor, and council members. And B, the chief executive city, also known as the city manager, should any of these people become unavailable to perform their duties during an emergency. It should be noted that the Act suggests that the qualifications of each standby officer should be carefully investigated and the consideration should be given to places of residence and work so that for each office for which standby officers are appointed shall be the greatest probability of survivorship. Standby officers may be residents or officers of a political subdivision other than to which they are appointed as standby officers. Furthermore, once appointed, standby officers are charged with the following duties. A, to inform himself or herself of the duty of the office. B, to keep informed of the businesses and affairs of the political subdivision to the extent necessary to enable the standby officers to fill his or her post competently. For this purpose, the political subdivision may arrange information meetings and require attendance. This agenda item is also an opportunity for the council members who will continue their terms to make any necessary changes to their previous appointments. Currently, we have the following standby appointments. For Councilmember Carrie Brogy, we have, as a first standby officer, we have Brian McCarthy, the second standby officer, Diane McCall, and the third standby officer, Ernie Villegas. For Mayor Cristina Villaseñor, we have only one standby officer, Ernie Villegas, and for Mayor Pro Tem Albert Mendez, we have only one standby officer, who is Kevin McSweeney. Also notable is that the Act does not specify a method for designated standby officers, and that therefore the City Council may make such appointments in accordance with local protocols, which has been by simple minute action in the past. Staff recommends that each council member consider designated up to 3 standby officers who would be available to assume the responsibilities if the council member becomes unavailable and serve in the event of state of emergency, a local emergency, or an enemy attack or war. And this has no fiscal impact. It does not meet city council goals, but it is a requirement. And so I can go one at a time and ask for, your appointments. I can start with Councilmember John Garnica. So you have up to 3 standby officers.
I'd like to consider this. I can submit that later. Is that allowed? Or do I have to designate someone immediately?
Since she referenced that it could happen by minute order, I think that means it needs to happen at a council meeting, but, this item could always be continued. If you wanted to think about it till January.
No, I knew that it was on the agenda, but I didn't really have because it does say to consider it. And so, given the fact that, where I live, and I just want to give it some consideration, given that it's kind of important, rather than just jump to whoever happens to be my neighbor. I notify.
Okay, is it maybe the will of council then to postpone this item to our next regularly scheduled meeting? What are the opinion of council?
I guess I could name someone and we can always change it, right?
It could always be changed, yes.
Okay. Are my fellow council members prepared with names to submit today?
I am.
Or Carrie? Sure. Okay. Well, let's move forward then and put down names, and again, it could be changed in the future.
Okay, and then I'm going to designate my my daughter Natalie Garnica as successor. Is that allowed?
Sure, and it's not a successor. It could be if you're out of town and there's an emergency and there needs to be an emergency meeting. It also doesn't have to be a resident of the city.
Councilmember Garnica, would you have any others in mind at the moment?
Just that.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you. And Councilmember Rodriguez, did you have your officers in mind?
I would like to appoint Mark Austin. Whether or not he'll agree to that. We can change it if he doesn't.
Okay. Of course. And do you have any others?
Not at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Villaseñor?
Yes, I do want to make, I think I have only one for Mr. Villegas, but I will change it. So the first name I have is Karina Forsyth.
Okay, and a second?
The second name is Nancy Rodriguez Hernandez.
Okay.
And the third is Chano Ibarra.
C-H-A-N-O?
C-H-A-N-O.
Ibarra. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, for clarification, that's for the first and second and third standby officer names that you're recommending?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor Pro Tem Mendez?
Kevin, again, if you're willing to. There you go.
Okay. Do you have any others?
No, that's
No.
just Kevin.
Okay, thank you. And Councilmember Broggie?
Can I pass? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank here.
Okay. So currently you have the first standby officer to be Brian McCarthy, second standby officer you have Diane McCall, and third standby officer you have Ernie Villegas. You can also just
I
keep
see.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to remove Diane McCall. And can I add my spouse? Is he eligible, Scott Broggie?
Yes. Scott Broggie. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. That concludes my presentation for this item.
Okay, thank you very much, Raleigh. Okay, next on our agenda, we have, the appointments to city council. It's agenda item 9D for city council committees, commissions, and liaisons and outside agencies.
Okay.
And Sorelli again. Hi.
Yes, that's also mine. I'm sorry, I'm almost done here, I promise.
Oh.
Okay, so the city council is recommended that, or this is to appoint the city council commissions, committees, liaisons, and outside agencies. So it is asked that the city council discuss that the mayor appoint with city council consent city council representatives to the various positions listed on this attachment, including the adoption of Resolution 244034, appointing the city council representatives to the board of directors of the Fillmore and Piru Basins Groundwater Sustainability Act. It's also known as the GSA. And second, to provide direction whether any standing committees or ad hoc committees are no longer necessary and should be dissolved. The list of the City Council standing and ad hoc committees is included on this attachment, which was also shared to the council members prior to the meeting to get a little bit more knowledge on what are the different ad hoc committees and commissions or liaisons. So members of the City Council serve on various City Council committees, standing ad hoc, and represent the city on various regional and countywide boards and commissions. Any member of the City Council may volunteer to serve on the City Council committee or serve as a representative on any board. The mayor is required to serve as the city's representative for some bodies. For example, on the county's city selection committee, the appointments to the City Council committees are made by the mayor with the consent of the City Council. If desired, any member of the City Council may call for a vote or any appointment. The City Council can also choose to vote at one time for all positions appointed. There are no terms for the City Council committee appointments. Persons appointed may resign and appoint at any time, other than the positions require the mayor to serve. And so, just for a little bit of further descriptions, an ad hoc committees are temporary subcommittees of two city council members that are formed to perform a specific function that is not ongoing. An example of the ad hoc committee would be a committee formed to make recommendations where to locate a well. This would be an ad hoc committee as the matter is temporary and there is not an existing standing committee that would address such an issue. Ad hoc committees are often not subject to the Brown Act. And a little more information regarding the standing committees. They are permanent subcommittees of 2 council members, although they may be dissolved by the city council when no longer needed. Such committees deal with ongoing subject matters and are subject to the Brown Act. Now, the Fillmore Piru Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency, also known as the GSA, the City of Fillmore, along with the United Water Conservation District and the County of Ventura, is a member of the Fillmore Piru Basin's Groundwater Sustainability Agency. The GSA's bylaws require that each member agency to designate a director and submit the change in a person filing of the director position to the GSA's executive director by written notice, such as the approved resolution for the governing board of the member directing change in the director position accordingly. The appointment of a new director from Fillmore to the GSA requires the adoption of the resolution. The director is set forth in section 6.4. Members shall submit any changes in director positions to the executive director by written notice signed by an authorized representative of the mayor. The written notice shall include a resolution to the governing board and member directing such change in the director's position. Now, attached to the staff report, we have a list of the current council members' appointments, just to give a little bit of historical background. And I would like to now go one by one, name them one by one. And if you guys would like to, if you all would like to nominate yourself or for each of the committee, and I can start naming them one by one. Thank you. And so the first one, we have the Ventura County Animal Regulation, also known as the VCAS. In the past, we had the primary as Mark Austin and alternate Chris Garola, which are no longer in the council. But if anyone would like to appoint themselves, now is the time to do so. Primary? Okay.
I'd be alternate.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. And so we also have the Air Pollution Control District. Okay. As a primary.
Yeah, as a primary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Tiffany, we don't need necessarily a motion for this, correct? No. Okay, thank you.
Okay. And if anybody wants to be on a particular committee, please. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and then we also would need a secondary for this.
Okay, so this is for the air pollution quality,
Yeah.
1:30
Air Pollution
on
Control District.
second Tuesdays. Okay, so is any other council member willing to be an alternate? This is just if Mayor Pro Tem Mendez isn't able to make it?
I'll be the alternate, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
We meet at the Government Center in the supervisor's chambers.
And then we also have the Ventura Regional Sanitation District, also known as the VRSD. We previously had Ms. Villaseñor and Mark Austin in that committee, and so.
Yeah, I'd like to stay as the primary.
Okay.
And I'd like to be the alternate for that one.
Okay, thank you. And then we have the Ventura County Transportation Commission, which is also known as the VCTC. We've had primary Carrie Brogy, and there's actually no alternate for this one.
I would like to stay on that one.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There is no alternate for VCTC.
Correct. Only one appointment.
Okay.
And then we also have the Ventura Council of Governments, which is also known as VCOG. We have had Carrie Brogy as primary, and we had Albert Mendez as secondary.
I'll stay as a secondary.
And I'm actually on an ad hoc committee. We're recruiting for our new director, and I don't want to interrupt that and have to bring one other person on from VCOG, so I'd like to keep that.
Okay, as a primary.
Okay, thank you.
I'll stay as a secondary.
Thank you. Alrighty. Moving on, we have the Economic Development
I'll
Collaborative.
stay on that one.
Okay. And then,
Click on those.
so
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
so there's a primary and a secondary. So Albert, we will go ahead and put as primary, and then we'll need a secondary for this one.
Okay, this is on
It's a good one.
the third Thursday at 4 p.m.? Yep, okay, thank you. Councilmember Garnica.
Yes, and if you need clarification on the dates, I'm happy to provide those as I have the map or the calendar right next to me.
Okay, great, I appreciate it. I just figured with work schedules and, some people might perform more during the day meetings or opposed to evenings, so
Yes.
I'm glad we have this. Thank you again for the calendar.
Of course. Alrighty. And I'm sorry, talking about the meeting schedules, I would like to note that the Ventura County Animal Regulation now meets on, instead of Tuesdays, they meet quarterly on Thursdays instead of Tuesdays. So Albert and Luis, if you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to note that there has been a change to that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so EDC, we said Mendez and the secondary Garnica. Okay. All right. And then we have the Ventura County Regional Energy Alliance. We previously had primary Ms. Villaseñor and secondary Ms. Brogy.
Yeah, I'm fine being the primary on that one.
Okay.
And I'll remain the alternate. Although you apparently never missed a meeting, did you? I never had to fill in.
The VCREA has been a little spotty this year. They were just going to have one in November and they canceled it, so. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And so moving on to the standing committees, we have the Interview Selection Committee.
Oh, I'm sorry, Riley, to interrupt. I think, too, this is confirming the Fillmore Piru Basin GSA.
Oh, yes. So
Okay.
No, that one on the primary.
Oh, right.
but I
so-
have conflict.
Okay. So then we're looking to give up your primary role on this one? Okay,
I
okay.
can still do it, but I would
So-
have to alternate.
Got
What
it.
days does it meet?
This is on third Thursday at 5 p.m. here.
Here. Okay.
Yes.
I can take that.
Okay,
No one else wants it.
okay.
Okay, Garnica.
Thank you, Councilmember Garnica. Would Councilmember Rodriguez be willing to be an alternate to that one? It's a 5 p.m. Thursday.
Here, it meets here.
Yes, I would like to be alternate.
Okay, great. Once a month, right, Albert? Okay.
Sometimes more when they have special meetings.
It's nice and convenient that it is here in Fillmore.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor Villaseñor. And so we also have our interview selection. This is for, we previously had primary Carrie Brogy and our alternate Cristina Villaseñor.
I'd like to remain on that.
Okay, as a primary or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's both positions are primary.
Is this our internal one, our Fillmore?
Yes,
Okay,
our internal
great.
Fillmore
Yeah, I would like
committees.
to remain on that one as well.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, this is the two-person ad hoc, two-council
Yeah,
member
but
ad
I
hoc.
thought that Mark Austin was on that.
I think, Carrie, we had like one interview this past year. Am I right, Erika? We had, yeah.
I believe it's for the car commissioner?
Correct. I think it was only one time, and then applications were shared with both of you, and then the direction was that you were just recommending appointment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, so for interview selection, we have primary Carrie Brogy and alternate Cristina Villaseñor.
They're both, it's an ad hoc.
I'm so sorry.
I'm not sure if it's an ad hoc. It's a standing two-person
Primary,
meeting.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, there we
Yes,
go.
you're correct. I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, and then we have the Ventura County City Selection Committee, which automatically goes to the mayor. So, Ms. Villaseñor,
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and put you
Maybe
down for
once
that.
a year.
I was going to ask.
Once a year.
Once a year, okay. I'll be on that meeting anytime. I'll be on that committee.
But really early in the morning. at the Camarillo Airport.
Oh.
Okay. And then we also have the utilities ad hoc. We've had Carrie Brogy and Cristina Villaseñor.
Utilities. I'm glad to stay on utilities. Sure. I'll be a part of that still.
And Brogy, would you like
I'm
to?
good with that too, but what did we do about EDC?
EDC
Oh.
was Albert Mendez, or sorry, Mendez and Garnica.
Okay. How did I miss that?
And we'll put together the list and send it over to you all so that you have it.
And then who is on the budget ad hoc?
Yeah, we haven't gotten to that one yet, but we'll get to that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Okay, so the utility ad hoc, we said Carrie and Christina.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have our special board ad hoc, which is also our special school board ad hoc, which is also known as the 2+2. And we previously had Chris Garola and Carrie Brogy.
I'm confused on that one. Why is that an ad hoc? I mean, it's a standing committee, correct? I mean, in other words, it's not a temporary.
But I think, so this is for ad hoc / standing committees. We're just going through the list so
Okay.
that we can update the calendar. And those usually get on the calendar in the bottom as like,
Right.
ad hoc / standing.
But I guess I was under the assumption that ad hoc meant it was for an interim period of time, that it was in existence for a temporary period of time.
It
as
does.
needed.
She's just saying that they're listed together. It's both. It's ad hoc and standing in this list right here. But you're right on what ad hoc means.
Yeah. With that said, I would like to stay on that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, just catching up. This is the budget?
This is for the special school board.
Oh, special schools, okay.
2+2.
2+2, got it.
It's really random. Probably twice a year, and it's
Sort of the
established
definition
by.
of ad hoc.
Sit on it as well.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Mendez and Councilmember Brogy. Thank you both. 2+2.
Okay, and then we went ahead and established the Fillmore Power Basin's Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and we stated that Mr. Garnica and Mr. Rodriguez will be on that committee. And then we also have the Economic Development. We previously had Chris Garola and Albert Mendez. Okay.
You're what?
So too.
This is for the internal ad hoc.
Internal.
Correct.
Oh, intern?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So we have one for the Ventura County Economic Development Collaborative, and we have an internal economic development.
Right.
Would it make sense for us both to be the same?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is it possible to be a part of a committee after this process today? Because some of these, like the ad hoc committees, not seeing any dates or regularity of meetings, it's hard to anticipate availability for them. So I'm a little bit more reserved in participating in them because I really don't know when they would take place. Is it just like a notice in advance usually, or?
Yes, the members of the committee will work. They'll work with the two schedules of the two people who are part of it to ensure that you're part of the committee. So on these, there's not a set. It meets on a certain Thursday at a certain time. It's that you are part of, XYZ committee, and again, the schedulers will make sure that, okay, Luis, when are you available? Albert, when are you available? Okay, that's when the committee will meet. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, so we said economic development, and internally, we have Mendez as primary and Garnica as secondary? Okay. All right, final stretch. We have the Budget Ad Hoc Committee, and it's recommended that one old council member be part of the committee just for part of continuation and prior knowledge of the city.
Did you say one old council member?
One
previous, continuing, wise, knowledgeable.
I'll take wise and knowledgeable.
So previously, our wise and knowledgeable council members, we had Mark Austin and Ms. Cristina Villaseñor.
Yeah, well, I'll continue to be on the budget ad hoc. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would be willing to take that one on.
Thank you.
Okay, and
As long
last
as I
but
can meet with Deborah first beforehand, before every meeting.
she's also very wise and knowledgeable. Sorry. Okay, and then we have our city manager ad hoc committee. We previously had Carrie Brogy and Albert Mendez.
Can you describe that committee again?
So this is.
Yeah. We're going through the recruitment process to hire a city manager. So he and I- yeah.
Yes,
That one
okay.
didn't that one's not on our list because it's too new.
Yeah,
Right.
so previously, council had Carrie Brogy and Albert Mendez be part of that recruitment committee. And so I'm just wanted to present that to you in case you wanted a change or if anyone else would like to be.
I mean, we're just started the process, so
Okay, so
yeah.
continue on with
I
the
will
same.
continue on.
Okay.
I won't speak
If
for
Mayor
you.
Pro Tem would like to continue on? Okay.
Okay, so Carrie Brogy and Albert Mendez.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for your patience and thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Any questions, or just want to make sure, council members, everyone's good with what we have? Okay, all right.
Sorry, I think I
Yes.
had to turn on my microphone. I need to get used to being prompt on that. So I still have that question. Is it possible, say, like a few months from now, say there is no alternate for something, or is it possible to participate in a committee after this initial resolution?
Each year, you guys reselect committees and appointments.
So then it would be not, it wouldn't be able to happen in a few months. It would be until next year.
Unless someone was like, hey, something came up and I can't do this anymore. Can someone take it and we put it back on an agenda?
Okay, thank you.
Can I add to that too? There are a lot of meetings, most of them for that matter, that you can not participate in, but sit in on and observe and learn, and it's a great way. And most of these committees are that way, are set up that way.
That's a really good point. Thank you. Yeah, and I'll just add to that too and say that did happen, I think, maybe a couple of years ago when Mark wasn't able to sit, I think, on the VRSD about halfway through the year, and I wound up coming in from him, so, yeah. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, let's go back over the agenda. So, thank you, Riley. We'll move on now to the next agenda item, which is the discussion and adoption of our proposed 2025 City Council meeting schedule. Right.
And that is my final one, I promise. Yes, so this is for the council to consider and adopt the proposed schedule for the next year of 2025. So staff is requesting that the City Council review and adopt the attached proposed 2025 City Council meeting schedules. Following City Council approval, the schedule will be published and posted on the city's website. So each year, the city adopts and publishes a City Council meeting calendar, which is posted on the city's website. The proposed City Council calendar is attached. There are 20 meetings listed in the attached proposed schedule, leaving the traditional dark periods in late June, July, November, and December. And what that means is that there's only one council meeting during those months. Staff would like to point out that on Tuesday, November 11th, actually falls on Veterans Day. And so we would like to recommend the following two options for council to consider. One of them would be to schedule the City Council meeting on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. The second one would be council to consider having an additional dark month in the month of November with no meetings. But of course, in case of an urgent matter, we can always staff has the ability to call a special meeting if needed. And this has no fiscal impact, and the proposed calendar is attached to the report. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does council have any questions? Okay, any, yes?
Is it a particularly busy month historically?
I would say that because we are going to be dark in the second meeting in November, that it would be good to keep the first meeting. That's my thought.
I would agree. And answer to your question too, that it's unpredictable. Depends on, you know,
Sure.
what
Depends on the situation.
developments are coming down the
Yeah.
pike, whatever. But I agree. I think that if we're going to be dark on that second Tuesday, then we need to have a meeting on the 12th.
Okay,
I would make
on
that
Wednesday, the
motion.
12th.
Yes.
The 12th.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Well, let's wait for Christine to call.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'm getting used to this too. Okay, so yes, I'll call for a motion then on this agenda item.
I'll move that City Council adopt the proposed 2025 City Council meeting schedule with the change to the November meeting instead of the 11th to the November 12th.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Areli. Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item. We are on now item 9F, review of the fiscal year 23-24 Development Impact Fee Annual and 5-year report, and consideration of resolution number 24-4041, making findings regarding the unexpended development impact fees for fiscal year 23-24, the DIF report, Development Impact Fee Report. Okay, thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Well, good evening, council members, Mayor Villasenor. I'm Deborah Cavaletto, Finance Director. Item 9F has staff requesting a review and file of the FY 2023-24 Developer Impact Fee Report and adopt resolution number 24-4041, made the findings required by state law to allow the city to retain the unexpended DIF funds that were collected 5 years or more years ago. Government Code Section 66,000 authorizes public entities such as the City of Fillmore to establish and collect DIF fees to fund the costs of new or upgraded facilities needed as a result of new developments. The city has 10 categories of DIF as described in the staff report and in the DIF report, as well as various methods used to calculate the amounts of the DIF fees. The most recent DIF update was in March of 2019, and on September 12, 2023, the council approved the agreement with Wildan Services to prepare a new DIF study. This is Wildan Financial Services. The studies established a relationship between the impacts of new development and the need for new capital facilities and infrastructure to serve the projected growth of the city of Fillmore. Additionally, Section 66,000 requires the public agencies to report information within 180 days of the end of the fiscal year. City Council will be required to make findings to identify the imposed fee and reasonable relationship of the fee to the intended facility uses. These requirement findings will allow the city to carry forward the unexpended DIF fees collected more than 5 years prior to the end of the fiscal year. The amount of unexpected over 5-year fund is approximately $3.5 million. This meets the city's goal in the areas of financial management of good stores of the public tax dollars for long fiscal or financial stability of the city. End of my presentation, and you have any questions?
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Yes, questions? Councilmember Garnica.
Can we explain DIF fees a little bit more for the new council member?
Well, my question was more having to do with just a point of clarification. I think I know the answer, but so my understanding is, so these are impact fees that are levied typically on developers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my question has to do with how those funds can be used, because my understanding is that it's typically for capital improvement. It cannot be used for ongoing expenses like personnel, for example. Is that a correct
You
understanding?
use it for capital expenditures. It could be for the projects here, or for example, a project, we had a police generator, I think it was, back then, that was needed to be replaced because of the capacity. Of course, we're having more police. We want to ensure that we can able to respond quicker with the large scale of citizens we have now. We are growing, I think approximately from my report, from the GANS report, I think we're up to 17,000 in our population.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions for Deborah? And just to speak to Mayor Pro Tem Mendez's question, an understanding of DIF fees and sort of why every 5 years we pass this motion, or this comes onto the agenda, is that as we continue to build up funds in certain areas of capacity across the city. So if there is a need for, for something, like I said, a project, an improvement project, but we need to carry over funds, I believe, for quite a while. And so we need to make sure that we do this and that we don't meet that deadline where then, fees could be lost, right?
Mm-hmm. And also, too, you want to make sure that you are using the capacity. The goal is you do not want to have it be sitting there and not be utilized.
Right. Okay.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yes, okay, no further questions? Right? Okay, well, I will look to a motion.
So moved.
Is this a report and file, or do we need to move?
Oh, sorry, it is a report and file, so there's not a need for a motion?
Yes, there was a report filed. I believe it was November 25th. We had as a public notice that was available at the city clerk's office, and as well, it's behind on our staff report.
Okay. All right, so.
Yes, correct. We have a resolution number. Is it 2440?
Yes, it does.
41, correct.
I move to approve resolution number 24-4041, making the findings required by state law with respect to a portion of DIF funds that are unexpended and were collected over 5 years ago, and to accept the DIF report.
Okay, I have a motion. Second. Can I get a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I second
All
that
right.
motion.
Thank you. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Oh, okay, motion passes. Thank you.
Oh, I'm next.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll move on then to the next agenda item. And let me make sure I read that one. And this is, make sure I'm in the right spot here. Okay, the final update on the expenditures of the city's American Rescue Plan funds and the City Council approval of the proposed allocation of the balance of the funds. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, council members, Mayor Venus-Senor. My name is Deborah Cavaletto, Finance Director. Item 9G has staff recommending that the City Council discuss the proposed spending plan for the remainder of the city's American Rescue Plan funds, or ARPA, and approve the 4 recommendations. Some highlights of ARPA. ARPA is a federal government aid package for the state and local government to recover revenue due to the loss of the pandemic. The city received approximately $3.8 million in ARPA funds. These funds must be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and fully expensed by December 31st, 2026, or they will return to the U.S. Treasury. Over the course of the past fiscal year, or past fiscal years actually, various projects have been identified, shown in the staff report, and we have very successful completed projects, such as the roof replacements for the Active Adult Center, the Boys and Girls, the City Hall, and the police station. Also, we had the community pool replastering, the ERSI and GIS system upgrades, the Dolores Day restrooms, and park shade structures. We also were sub-recipient funding agreements negotiated with the city, with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Ventura County, and Spirit of Santa Paula. Has provided much-needed support to these organizations to continue normal day-to-day operations to serve Fillmore and the surrounding communities. The Downtown Rehab Grant Program for the Downtown Businesses District provided grant reimbursement for exterior improvements up to $12,500 per building or business project. 10 applications have been approved, totaling $121,332, of which 1 payment is outstanding. For funding, according to ARPA guidelines, as we said before, we must have a commitment by December 31st, 2024, or else we'll be deemed forfeited and returned to the Treasury. Currently, there's a remaining balance of $59,817 that is unallocated. The Administration and Finance Department reconfiguration project which was approved by the board on April 9th, 2024, with an amount not to exceed $68,766.62, is requiring a contingency amount to cover the carry-down costs and recycling costs not included in the price of the contract. We're recommending the amount of $6,000 to cover these costs. Staff is also recommending the amount of $53,816 of these funds to be allocated toward acquiring a much-needed software for the Public Works Department. PSD citywide will enable the citywide asset management and maintenance manager implementation along with Public Works permitting. This software will help drive efficiencies within the department. Joe Palermo will, our new Public Works Director, has provided some additional information for you on this topic, and he's here tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the Public Works Department has identified the need for a more efficient and better platform to communicate with the public and a way to better manage its short and long-term management of the assets. Staff has been considered, this has been a process that we've undertaken for quite a while, and we've been considering 4 companies. 2 of them stood out, but there was one that really was set apart from the rest, and that was the PSD Citywide, for a couple of reasons. The company has a strong reputation, excellent customer service, as we've experienced in communicating with them on various issues, compatibility with our software and stuff like that. It's an easy-to-use interface, much more than what we've experienced with the other companies. The adaptability of the software and the system integration with our current systems, and more importantly, the cost. The cost was very reasonable, especially with some recent developments. Citywide has been in business for more than 20 years. They have more than 600 software implementations, and over 200 of those are on systems that are very compatible with what the city's currently using. So there is a good, strong case right there that what they have is working. On that note, there's about 97% customer retention that they boast about. And in their satisfaction scoring surveys with all their clients, they're averaging about 4.6 out of 5. Citywide is recognized by American Public Works Association for their research and publications in the field of asset management, governance, sustainability, financial management, and technology in the public sector. These are all very strong points that we, consider when we select a software. California customers that they serve right now are in the northern area. That's the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency and the City of San Rafael, both who are using their asset and their maintenance management software to enhance their overall assessment of management strategies and practices. The City of Fillmore has been flagged by the company as a strategic project that they hope to use Fillmore as a reference in Southern California. And for this, we got 25% of a discount in their package deal. So that was huge. It started off, I think, with 10. So that was a big development just recently. In the first year, the city will utilize PSD Citywide for the asset management, the maintenance, the integration with GIS and DigAlert, and the iFrame and service customer service portal. That was one of the features that really set it apart from the others, is the ability to communicate with the public, having the public have a platform that they can use to file requests that then seamlessly come to us, and we can turn those into work orders for the field crew. And then year 2, in this implementation, if we expand this software and get the full suite, we'll be able to use that data in our work order, like how much time it took us or what products we used in that service, to then apply it to our budgeting software. So there's a lot of advantages in going with this company. So do I turn it over to you, back to you at this point? Yes, I I'm happy to answer any questions specifically about the software if you guys have any.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Any questions? Yes, we'll start with John.
Yeah, so I noted you, you said that there's a portal on the software. I assume that's on the web facing to the public, right?
Correct, yeah. Exactly how that rolls out, we're going to work on those details.
Okay.
If it's something that's on it will more likely be linked to the city's webpage.
The reason I'm asking, I know I'm familiar with other cities that have the ability, for example, there's a pothole that someone has noticed on whatever street, and they can go online and report it to the city, and it gets flagged right away. Is that the kind of capability we're talking about here?
Yes, and allow us to prioritize and not lose track of these requests.
Work orders, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Great, thank you.
So I do have a question, not so much about the software as you outlined a lot of it. My question is about the current state. If somebody does find a pothole and they go in to report it, you're saying the software kind of better tracks those reports or those requests to work on. Currently, though, what are you seeing that is falling through the cracks? If somebody makes a report, how is it that it might fall through the cracks? As there might be a lot of people in Fillmore who feel that way, where they complain to a council member maybe because they didn't know the process. Say the council member might mention it to Public Works. Will it get lost because of lack of documentation, and that's the purpose of this software?
I would say that's going to be the primary reason I see is the intake. If there's a portal that the public can use to log in their complaint, it's not lost. It's going to be tracked from that point forward until it's fixed.
And then what is the current format of that? Yeah, what is the current process for
We
that?
take them in various ways. Through you all, especially Councilmember Villaseñor, you have a platform, I think, where the public lodges issues, and we get them through that method. Calls, in routing through the system, it might be written down on a sticky that gets lost or shuffled somewhere, stuck to another paper, and nothing intentionally. It's just these things happen.
Yeah, and you guys have a lot on your plate, and I look forward to a more streamlined infrastructure for the public.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Joe, you mentioned that there's a 25% discount for using Fillmore as a Southern California client for this company. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? I mean, what will they'll be using this in advertising, or?
Yeah, it's essentially saying Fillmore is using our software, city of somewhere in Southern California. Please call Joe, and he can be a reference for his experience on using our software. It's as simple as that.
Okay. I mean, does that obligate us to give them positive, whoever makes a phone call and asks?
I would say an honest assessment of their software.
Assessment.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is that, with 4.6 out of 5 on a survey, I think that we're going to, have a positive review for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing contractual on that 25%?
No. No, there's no obligation.
Okay. Thank you.
That is an excellent question. Thank you. Others? No? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, thank you both for your presentation. Yes, Deborah's back on.
Thank you. So next we'll talk about our contract with RSG, which provides compliance and reporting requirements for ARPA for the city. City Council approved a not-to-exceed contract of $40,000 on April 12, 2022. However, with the increased number of projects the city has been requesting and the anticipated workload of the project, and also the number of reiterations of the ARPA itself, the RSG has requested an additional increase to the contract in the amount of $20,000 to bring in the not to exceed to $60,000. And funding is available actually under the administrative fee allocation that we have done. Regarding the reiterations, I think we were at 7 of them through this project where it became, we received the money as, oh, it's revenue replacement, do what you would do, to now it's more as like a grant. You must be tracking, make sure you have the obligated grants, and then you will have to give any fund back that aren't spent. So the difference in there. And then should we have our ARPA funding is available when we complete our projects and we have funding left over, we are allowed to reclassify that to another project as long as this project is acceptable to as an ARPA project and has been obligated by December 31st, 2024. So we're actually authorizing the interim city manager to allocate any unused funds after we do our reconciliation, and to be able to have that authority to apply it to another project that is there. And this way it'll kind of streamline the process. Because right now with the money that we're using, maybe we could have approximately 6,000, 5,000. It could be a minimal amount. And it'll fall under the guidelines of 40,000 or less. So this item, of course, meets the goals of financial management and also public safety, economic development, innovation, community engagement, communication, and infrastructure. So that's my presentation. So any other questions?
Okay, do you have any other further questions for Deborah? Nope. Okay, well, I just wanted to make a comment that I really like how this agenda item is a really nice summary of how we spent down our American Rescue Plan funds. And I think all of the city can see that we were really deliberate in making sure that, one, our city structures became more sound with the roofing, and that out in the community we also were really did great about being helping out different nonprofits and really improving our greater community, which again is the purpose of the American Rescue Plan funds. So I just wanted to thank our fellow council members and staff for all of the great ideas, and we really improved Fillmore through this set of funds. Okay, that being said, I'll look for a motion.
So moved.
Okay.
I second that motion.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay, motion carries. All right, thank you. Okay, our next agenda item is item 9H, the adoption of the fiscal year 25-26 recognized obligation payment schedule, the ROPS, for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, and the administrative budget for the City of Fillmore successor agency. All right, thank you, Deborah.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Successor Agency Board of Directors. I'm Deborah Cavaletto, Finance Director. Regarding item 9H, staff recommends the approval of the attached recognized obligation payment schedule, or ROPS, and the administrative budget, and authorize the executive director, who is the city manager, or his or her designee, to submit the ROPS and administrative budget for the period July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, for review and approval by the Ventura County Consolidated Oversight Board, which is VCCOB, and the California Department of Finance, or DOF, and authorize the executive director or his or her designee to make any changes needed directed by the VCCOB and DOF. By law, successor agencies must prepare and adopt an annual recognized obligation payment schedule, ROPS, listing of all obligations by the former redevelopment agency. Agency staff prepares the ROPS along with the yearly administrative budget, which is approved this evening, will be submitted to the VCCOB on January 22nd, 2025. The total budget request by our agency is, $3,790,820. The amount will pay the debt services outstanding, other related costs, and the $111,670 admin budget. Once VCCOB approves, our agency staff will submit it to the DOF by February 1st, 2025. Final determination of our budget by the DOF will be determined by April 15th, 2025. Budget amendments can be requested from and to the VCCOB and the DOF through the period of October 1st, through November 15th. For example, if we are doing we're going to do a repurchasing of the funds, or we're going to do for our bonds, or if there's another cost, for example, we have properties still remaining. It technically was 3 properties, now we have 2 properties because 2 merged. One is located off of Mountain View and Santa Clara, and the second one is over here on Santa Clara 510. So we have those 2 properties left that we're looking to dispose of. And for example, in the one project you may have seen in the admin budget, we requested $10,000 for fencing to do the 510 Santa Clara property as well. And then approval of the budget will follow the AB X126 process to ensure the assessor agency will be allocated enough property tax revenues to make the required debt payments, to honor other financial obligations, and to recoup its administrative cost. This item meets the city and the successor agency's goal in the areas of financial management as being good stewards of the public tax dollars for long-term financial stability. This is the end of my presentation, and I'm available for questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Do I have any questions? Okay. Oh, yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm new, so I'll forgive my ignorance here. Can you explain this in a little bit simpler language for me? Because I'm sorry. I just don't get it. Sorry. So.
Yeah, that's a guy. Oh my goodness! Oh, come on! No. So basically, there was redevelopment agencies that was, I think, from a law from the 1940s on that had certain areas that had needed improvements, and the property tax and stuff were there. And these redevelopment agencies were created by the cities, and they used that tax dollar to revive them. But I believe in 2012, Governor Brown, they decided to eliminate these redevelopment agencies, and they became successor agencies.
I remember this.
So successor agencies now have the requirement to get rid of all of their obligations, whether it be, for example, we did a long-term, I think it was a long-term plan about the properties. Some of the properties came to the cities, and then that's how we had remaining properties left. And now we have, again, the 2 properties that we're selling, or want to sell. One has a letter that was of interest that we're looking at, and then the other, we have nothing at this time.
Okay. So is this motion then to sell those properties or approve the selling of the properties?
This is actually to approve the budget, so that the next step comes to, we take it to the Ventura County Board. They'll look over our budget, and then they'll approve our budget, which they should. And then what next step is, we then submit it to the Department of Finance.
And this is all for the successor agency?
Yes, successor
agency.
not
Completely
city
separate from the city?
Yeah, completely separate. And then the Department of Finance will review it as well. And sometimes they do come back saying, maybe this is too large of a budget, or, please look at your finances. And also they provide some other guidance for us as well. And just to let you know, the bonds, I think it's June 1st, 2031 is when the bonds are set to be paid off, which in the hopes that we also have the remaining properties sold, because we cannot dissolve the successor agency until all the obligations have been settled.
So we're trying to wash our hands of all these old properties and
Correct.
Old agencies.
Correct.
And this is the council approving the budget to do so.
Yes, actually, it's the board, the board of directors of the successor agency. So now we're in that one.
Okay, yes.
Can I just
Okay, I think I got it.
make a recommendation? Can you just, as an example, give us an idea of what the previous properties were that we've already absolved ourselves from?
I'm
Give
trying to remember. I know
ideas.
definitely the town theater.
Right, the town theater.
And then
That's one of
was the
them.
equestrian center?
Tiffany, I think, may have a couple more.
Oh, maybe do. Or, I almost had my list, and I couldn't recall.
The parking lot.
The Shaw property, the one that Shaw was going to develop.
The adults, I think the adult center, active adult center wasn't correct.
I just think it'll be helpful for our new councilman.
Long-range property management plan, boy, I haven't looked at that in a long time. I only know the 2 remaining. But I know the town theater was one. I can't remember the others.
The parking lot behind.
Oh, the parking lot behind the town theater.
But we kept that.
We kept that.
There were about 21 properties, and we're down to 2.
Lots of work.
And I have one point of clarification. What about the property here by the railroad tracks? how close are we to?
We're not close. It's just a long process. We've identified a developer. They've submitted a letter of intent. We're reviewing the designs internally with staff, and we'll come forward to the city council with requesting an agreement to proceed with them.
Same project that we reviewed?
Yes.
Back, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we also, too, can provide you that list. We can send it to all of you.
I just thought it would be helpful because I know that, especially the theater, that our new council members would recognize the building and know, you know, that's what we've been doing all these years.
Right.
So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that'd be great to get that list. Okay. Okay. Any further questions? Comments? Okay. And I'll look for a motion.
Approve the attached recognized obligation payment schedule, ROPS, and administrative budget, and authorize the executive director, city manager, or his designee to submit the ROPS and administrative budget for the period July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 for review and approval of the Ventura County Consolidated Oversight Board and the California Department of Finance, and authorize the executive director or her designee to make any changes needed as directed by the VCCOB or DOF.
That was a mouthful. Okay. Got a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda item is our committee, commission, and board reports. And for our new council members, that's usually where we report out on all those committees and commissions that we just were assigned to. So do we have any report outs?
I don't have any report outs because most of my committees have not been meeting at this time. I will have APCB this week, so I'll report next. But I did want to give kudos to our Public Works department. I called them out, and there was a report of some like graffiti and they came out pretty promptly and took care of it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Well, I wanted to point out that we've changed our agenda, the order of our agenda, because normally we had.
We did.
In months past, the last 2 years, we had moved the reports, recommendations, and comments to the beginning of the agenda, correct? Is there a reason that it was moved back?
No, I think it was just a clerical error.
Okay, I'm fine with it being where it was. I mean, that was fine by me. That's where it was forever.
I agreed. I think we had it after, well, this agenda is a little different in our usual, but I believe we had public comments, and then
correct.
Right after we then had our, not so much our report out from committees, but our recommendations and comments, right? Which is agenda.
Yeah, the reporting out from committees happened at the end.
Yeah, and that allowed folks, the sort of the purpose behind it, I think, was former council member Gorola, was that we were able to sort of, well, more folks were here at the meeting instead at the very end, hear our comments and hear recommendations. So we'll make sure to move that back then to our usual spot.
I'm fine either way. I just wanted to.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Okay.
Anyway, with that said, I did have 2 things to report out on. I actually had an opportunity to speak to the Ventura County Taxpayers Association last week, which was really interesting, and it was a very enthusiastic crowd, a lot of familiar faces, which was helpful for me since I was, winging it there. And it was just really engaging, and I would encourage anybody who's not familiar with the Ventura County Taxpayers Association, look them up. They have a website, and they have meetings at 7:30 a.m. on Wednesdays, so which conflicts with my Rotary meetings, but anyway,
do they
so
furnish
that's-
breakfast?
Not like they do for Rotary, yeah, but they do serve food. Anyway, so I did that, and then I also had a Ventura County Transportation Commission meeting on Friday, which was really productive. Talked a lot about the things that the commission was able to accomplish in the past year or so. And we're moving forward, and I'm just really pleased with how Ventura County Transportation Commission is moving forward and getting things done. So it's one of those committees where I feel like, it's very productive, and so that's worthwhile. So, and that's all I have to report out.
Okay. Thank you. And just to piggyback off of that, I'll give my report now for I would say a committee, but a presentation that I sat on, and it was related to VCTC. It was their short-term planning, I believe. And I'll give more of an update actually at our next meeting. Don't have the information with me, but I'd have to echo Councilmember Brogie's. The VCTC, Ventura County Transportation Commission, is very committed to just really engaging with the public and getting our local transit improved. And really, and particularly, they're looking at Fillmore. And I think some other lines, they're just sort of going to make a couple of different changes, but Fillmore in particular, there's more information. So I'm going to go back over that Zoom that I was on. I think they're mostly recorded, and I'll report out more next month. Okay. Well, so that was agenda item, I believe, 10. Now we'll move on then to number 11, which again is our city council. Any other reports or particular recommendations, future agenda items, and just basic comments. Okay, council members.
I attended the tree lighting event on December, was it 1st? Yeah, and it was really nice. A lot of people, citizens attended, and it was probably one of the best ones I've seen in a while. So I want to thank city staff and the community for coming out and supporting. So, thank you.
Yeah, to ditto that, the attendance for that was just huge. I couldn't believe it. It was so well attended and such a success. And it was nice that we had so many businesses on Central participating. Doors were open, and there was a bingo game that the people that were there were participating in, getting their bingo sheet stamped at each store they went to. Lots of prizes given out, so it was really fun. A great event. And I think I mentioned this early on this evening, that's something that I see continuing to improve here in Fillmore, is the participation and enthusiasm from the constituents and the residents. It's just, I think it's great.
Yeah, and kudos to Public Works again, because the tree came on.
It came on early.
Just as planned.
Yeah, it came on about a minute early, and then, okay, but at least it went on when the moment came, so, yeah, that was great. I had something else to report out here. There's a coming up on January 12th at 2 at the Museum of Ventura County. There's, for those of you that are poet enthusiasts, there's a Ventura County poet laureate, Mary Ann McFadden, who's going to receive an award for her poetry, and she is a Fillmore graduate. So I've never met her myself personally, but I have information here if anybody's interested. I can be happy to pass that information on to you. But I think it would be a great event, especially the organizers of this event emailed me and said that this Ms. McFadden would also like to come here and just do a presentation. So I'm going to add that to a request if we can invite her out just to do during the presentations at the beginning of the meeting. And I think she wants to read one piece of her poetry, which I think, because she's a Fillmore grad, it would be great. So
sounds fantastic. That's
a good idea. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any other council member recommendations, comments?
I just have a comment. I want to thank everybody here, the people still in attendance, the staff, the executive staff, existing and new city council members. I want to thank you guys for all the great hospitality and for having our backs when we have questions, as we're just getting our feet under ourselves. Thank you. Appreciate all of that.
All right.
I guess the only thing I really have, two things that I have to report out, excuse me. One, I wanted to thank the staff for the orientation that they provided. That was very professional, very well put together, and I just appreciate your time, so thank you very much for that. And the second thing was, I did attend the Christmas parade with my grandchildren and my daughters, and it was very, very well put on. I did see Carrie up there, as well as Erica and Christina, so good job, you guys. You represented us well.
All right, thank you. And yeah, I just had a few comments. That was a really great event of the tree lighting. And I don't know if he would want me to point this out, but I'm going to do it anyhow. I think one of the really big draws is, of course, the tree and the wonderful bingo game of going downtown. What a great idea. And hopefully that's just something that just was inaugurated this year, and we continue to grow it and have downtown and surrounding businesses be a part of it. And again, all those sponsors lined up on Main Street was so wonderful, such a giving atmosphere, and that's really what Fillmore is all about. And I believe Mr. Rob Lemons from Lemon Tree Embroidery donated the snow, and the snow was such a huge hit and really drew out the crowds. So, I just wanted to give him a particular note of thanks, because that was really made it really wonderful and special. Great. Let's see, I think my other announcement was Carrie had already mentioned about the Poet Laureate for Ventura County, so thank you for mentioning that. And one recommendation I do want to make, and I know that we have Ms. Garcia still in the audience today, and she spoke earlier about Two Rivers, and we're moving forward with, as she mentioned, the part that is for the football and the soccer, but I would love to just agendize continuing the conversation. And I know I'd mentioned this a few months ago too, that in order, I think, for us to just sort of keep it in mind as just, something that the city is really invested in, I would love to agendize, I guess I would say, talking about future budget options for the other part of the park, the baseball fields. And so that would be the recommendation I would have. If anyone would like to do that.
What would that look like to you?
The agenda item would look like maybe a receive and file educational agenda item that says, here's 5 different ways that the city can look for funding. Here's 5, maybe just done by some staff research. Here's a few different options, a receive and file, and just so that we get more information on what we could do. Yeah, it wouldn't be an action at this point.
Okay, I would be in agreement with that as long as we didn't have to pin staff down to providing 5 different funding sources.
Yeah, I think I just throw that out there. Okay. More than one. How about that? More than one option. Or is that being too specific? Okay, well, let's just say just several options for potentially looking at the baseball and softball fields.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Would that be something? Okay. All right. Thank you, council members. All right. Okay, if there's no more on that agenda item number 11, we're on to number 12, our city manager report. So from our interim city manager, Erika Herrera.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to congratulate Councilmember Garnica, Councilmember Rodriguez, and Mayor Villaseñor for your re-election and your election. Staff and myself look forward to continue working with you over the next 4 years. And I believe that with this council, we'll be able to achieve great things. As the constituents are aware, the parks are closed for renovation. So we have Two Rivers, Shields Park, and Rio Vista, which is requiring temporary closure to enhance the amenities. We're looking at Two Rivers will remain closed with the baseball fields reopening on February 1st, while the soccer and the football fields will remain closed until July of 2025. I do understand that it might impose a little bit of an inconvenience. However, we believe that such amenities and enhancements will have a much longer return on investment. So we respectfully request our constituents that if you see a park closure sign, to please stay off the turf, especially when they're renovating the turf. Otherwise, the product result will not be the same. And I'll go ahead and state the same announcement in Spanish just to make sure that we can reach out to our Hispanic community as well. La ciudad está ahorita haciendo renovaciones en nuestros parques. En el parque de Two Rivers, Shields Park y Rio Vista están las instalaciones temporalmente cerradas y los espacios recreativos. El
las áreas de o las canchas, los campos de béisbol van a estar cerradas hasta el 1 de febrero del próximo año. Y mientras los campos de fútbol y soccer van a permanecer cerrados hasta julio del 2025, les pedimos a todos nuestros constituyentes que, a pesar de que esto es una inconveniencia temporalmente, sabemos que al final va a ser mejor porque estamos tratando de reparar todas las áreas recreativas para nuestros residentes. Y de una manera respetuosa le pedimos también que si hay una señal de que el parque está cerrado, que por favor respete eso, especialmente cuando estén volviendo a poner la grama de regreso. De lo contrario, vamos a tener, el resultado no va a ser el mismo. Following up, city close will be closed effective December 24 through January 1st for the winter holiday, with regular operations resuming on January 2nd. For emergencies, our crews of Public Works will still be operating. Fire and police will also be still responding to any emergencies. But for any emergencies, please call 805-524-1500, extension 901. And then for the water payments, you can continue to visit our website or call 805-524-1500, extension 1. This information is available on our website. And that concludes my updates.
Okay, thank you, Erika. Muchas gracias. All right, okay. And if we have no other thing on the agenda, we were going to move to adjournment. So we will adjourn this meeting until our next regularly scheduled meeting at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. With that being said, just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays for all the holidays that you celebrate, and we look forward to seeing everyone in the new year. Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned.